We could have everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
You're fine.
I pledge
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. Do we have any public concerns that are not on the agenda?
So before we do that, I'd like to
Oh, sure.
introduce Carrie Cheney, who's our new town clerk.
Hi,
So we're
Carrie.
very happy to have her.
Hi, Carrie, too.
Welcome, Terry.
So this is her very first mayor and town council meeting.
Happy
Sure,
to
try
have
go
you.
slowly. So any public concerns that are not on the agenda?
Is there?
I guess that would be us.
Okay,
No. Is there an agenda sheet?
there's one outside.
Oh, thank you, sir. That's all.
Okay.
Guess the speed issue on North Avenue appears to be through the entire town.
Okay,
That's pretty much.
all right, we'll add that as number 7 to the.
I don't, because I know several emails of
Okay,
mayor.
okay, we'll add that as number 7 to the open session agenda.
And if I could just ask for an update on, the owner of the Town Skate Park wasn't here a little while ago, make a request for doing lessons up at Town. Just get an update on what's going on with that.
I can do that right now. if you want.
Okay, sure.
Which is that Howard County, we're waiting to hear back from Howard County in terms of what needs to happen from their perspective.
Okay.
And I'm sorry,
No, that's fine.
I already forgot what you told me to remind you.
I think
The downtown parking,
Yeah,
so if we could add that.
Okay. Number 8. All right. The minutes from the August 8th meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
The amended version that I think came back out today.
yes.
Motion to approve the August 8th Mayor and Town Council meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved.
Should we do the July 11th revision as well?
Sure, we can do that.
Did everybody
Yes.
get those?
And I had another catch on that one as well. Is that included in this?
Yeah, so the latest one that came out had 2 vote changes to show
Okay.
the abstentions correctly.
So motion to approve the amended July 11th meeting minutes.
I'll second that one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do we read the minutes? No, I mean, from the last meeting. Is that what we're approving the minutes?
We're approving the minutes as they were posted, yes. We generally don't read them through every time.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking.
Okay, no problem. All right, the July 11th, 2016 minutes are.
Thank you.
All right, next is the treasurer's report. Does everyone have a chance to review the treasurer's report? Any questions? Everyone, good job. No questions again, so that works out well. Must be doing a good job. All right, motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Treasurer's report's approved. Council committee reports. Just want to start with you.
All right, so, reporting on the Streetscapes Task Force, it's a mouthful for me. We haven't met in a while. I don't think there's any planned upcoming public meetings, because right now it's in the hands of State Highway. The mayor has sent a letter of participation to State Highway.
I don't remember what the exact title was.
Right. And
Participation letter.
Letter of participation. If anybody's interested in seeing the actual letter, it just says where it's appropriate, the town will participate in cost sharing with the state in the project. And if anybody's interested in it, let Chip or myself know, and we'll be happy to share it with you.
Okay.
Or the mayor, since he's actually sent the letter.
Thanks. Okay, Julia, Planning Commission, I know you submitted for consent agenda, but do you have any highlights?
Yes.
Okay.
Sean Davis, the Planning Commission met on Tuesday, September 6th, and Sean Davis presented us with the Warfield preliminary plan and the development pattern book. We also have a whole slew of dates that are coming up where public input will be taken. The first will be September 19th. We have a special meeting. It's a Planning Commission work session to go over any topics we want to discuss with them and get the Planning Commission's issues ironed out, as well as the public is invited to attend. September 22nd, there will be a technical review committee with Carroll County and town staff, and again, that's a public meeting that anybody can attend and give input. In early October, there will be a review of the concept plan and stormwater management for the entire property. October 3rd, there will be a public hearing for the preliminary plan at the regular Planning Commission meeting. October 27th, there will be a special Planning Commission meeting for possible pattern book and preliminary plan approval. November 7th will be another regular Planning Commission meeting, and if for whatever reason we don't do our approvals on October 27th, that would be the meeting we would do that. And then they're anticipating late spring 2017 groundbreaking. So things are moving along quickly. We do have their pattern book, and we have the plans on file here at the townhouse if anybody would like to come in and review them, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, we just finished our last movie for the season. We did complete our concerts, so we're wrapping up our season, and we did find that there is a decline in attendance in both concerts and movies. Not sure if it's the movie choice or if it's just, it was a hot summer this summer. And then the next movie is going to be for Christmas when Santa comes into town. So we're just wrapping up our season, taking inventory and so forth. Next meeting is going to be the fourth Thursday of September, which is, fourth Thursday of September, September 22nd, 7 o'clock here in the townhouse.
Yeah, I think this last Saturday was the hottest Saturday in
Yeah.
September ever, so I didn't expect a lot of people to come to the movie.
People were
Finally got to play the Lego movie though. Right?
Yeah.
Finally got to play the Lego
Yes,
movie.
we did. We didn't get rained out. We only got rained out in May, so that's a good thing.
Casey?
And a few highlights from the Gatehouse Museum. One of our two curators has resigned, and Jack White has, his hours have increased to 24 hours a week. From a Historic District Commission perspective, we too were presented with the Warfield Development Pattern Book at our last meeting. The commissioners are in the process of reviewing that to bring comments to our October 6th meeting, when we'll be meeting with the Warfield Development Commission at that point, and then our corporation at that point again, and then that's at 6 o'clock. But then 7 o'clock is the public HDC meeting, and applications are due on the 20th for review for the HDC meeting on the 6th of October, which is a change from our pre-scheduled or our scheduled meeting in September. So we moved it to October 6th.
Thanks. Main Street Association report. As everyone knows by now, Stephen has unfortunately resigned his position, so we are in the process of working through how we're going to go forward from here. Changes a lot of things we've been discussing for the past year, unfortunately, but we're going to be discussing various options, especially over the next week or so, the transition and how we're going to proceed with hiring. Julie has offered to fill in, and Dawn, you can talk more about that because you've been dealing with that directly with Julie filling in.
Yeah, Julie's been doing the farmer's market, and so in addition,
Since we're on camera and everything, could you explain who you're talking about?
Oh, sure.
Stephen and Julia and this.
And here she is.
And here's, get her on camera. Yeah, Stephen was our Main Street coordinator, economic development coordinator, Stephen Colella, who has resigned. Julie Del Marie, who's just walked in, is filling in his place for now. Been handling the farmer's market beautifully, it's getting rave reviews, first Fridays as well. So we're happy to have you on board for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Promotions committee met last week. One of the logistics we were dealing with was Harvest Fest, which again ended up being one of the hottest Saturdays. One of the things I do want to ultimately talk about is moving that a little later in September. Originally, the reason why we had it this first Saturday in December, or in September, was because it was the Chili and Beer Festival, and we didn't want to compete against the Art and Wine Festival, or I'm sorry, the Maryland Wine Festival, which is next weekend, and the Union Mills Microbrew Festival, which is next Saturday. But then, it was a year or two ago, we switched the Harvest Fest with the Chili and Beer Fest, but now it turns out that it's still even too hot in September, so we'll probably be moving it back to later in September. We don't have to worry about the competition with the Art and Wine Fest, or what do you call it that, the Maryland Wine Festival and the Union Mills Beer Festival.
Okay.
I don't think we have to worry about that competition, so we'll probably be getting cooler days for that. Halloween on Main Street will be going forward on Thursday, October 27th from 5 to 7. Rachel Beck's been working, and Julie have been working with the chief on coordinating closing the road for that. Chili and Beer Festival is scheduled for November 5th. That's a Saturday. We're working on getting the volunteers, getting everything together for that. We are discussing Ice Fest in February as to whether that is going to go forward or not. We'll probably know more by October, whether we're going to be able to go forward with that or not. And then we are already planning for the Art and Wine Festival next May. So things are moving forward. It's going to be a little bit different, but they are moving forward.
And I just want to make a comment on behalf of all of the volunteers and those that are a regular part of the Main Street Association. Big shout out to Julie, to Rachel Beck, to many of the merchants that participated greatly in pulling this together and kind of picking up some slack that needed to be picked up. And a million thanks to them, because despite the heat, it actually was an incredible success. Everything was in place for it to be an even bigger success had the weather cooperated. So.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any questions about Main Street?
I mean, I think you would probably agree, but I also think we should commend Stephen Colella for the great job that he's done in the year that he's been here in taking our Main Street to a whole next level.
Absolutely. One of my wife's favorite shirts right now is her coolest town in America,
Yeah, right.
Sykesville shirt. She loves wearing that, and they're selling well at the farmer's market, and they were selling well for First Friday. Stephen has done a lot to help promote the town and get the festivals to where they are now.
Absolutely.
We're gonna miss him.
Thank you, Don.
All right. Announcements. At the July 11th Mayor and Town Council meeting, we appointed 2 full-time public works maintenance workers, Enrico Liberto and Charles Kent were appointed as full-time public works maintenance workers.
Actually, and sorry to correct you,
That's okay.
Enrico was at the August 8th meeting. Don
Gotcha.
sent a revision about that.
Okay. And at the August 8th Mayor and Town Council meeting, Carrie Cheney, who we've introduced earlier, was appointed as our new town clerk.
Are you local?
Yes.
And as I mentioned before, coming up, events coming up, Halloween on Main Street, October 27th, Chili and Beer Festival, November 5th. The farmer's market is continuing, it's again getting rave reviews, everybody just raves about that, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Sundays through October. And the Little Sykes Railway is also open at the same time, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on those Sundays to coincide with the farmer's market. Any questions about the announcements? Okay. Next we have what we call the consent agenda. Before making a motion motion on the consent agenda items. I want to read through each of them to see if anyone wants them removed from the consent agenda. We have number 1, approval of resolution number 2016-09, authorizing the mayor to sign the closing and settlement documents for 7610 Main Street. Number 2, authorizing the mayor to sign the landscape maintenance agreement for the historic Carriage House 2 LLC. Number 3, approving a beer garden for the cyclocross event over Warfield on September 25th. I think this is what, their 3rd or 4th year now?
Yes, and,
5th or 6th year.
Okay, great.
and Mike Neary is here, so.
Okay, thanks. Number 4, approving resolution number 2016-10, setting the sidewalk clearance width to 3 feet, referencing that on Main Street, the sidewalk clearance width on Main Street to 3 feet. Number 5, appointing Al McAvoy to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a 3-year term that expires August 31st of 2019. Anyone on the council want removal of any of those items for separate consideration?
Yes. I'd like to remove item number 4.
Okay. Anyone else?
I don't even know what that means. 3 feet, what?
Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. All right. So we have a motion for the other items?
Sure, I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda as written with the exception of number 4 as we're removing that for further discussion.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So items 1 through 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5 on the consent agenda are approved.
Okay.
All right. So resolution 2016-10 with regard to the sidewalk clearance.
So, let me just pull up the, my question or concern has to do with the language. Let's see, use of town sidewalks unless proposed use of such sidewalk provides for continuous unobstructed sidewalk path that is at least 3 feet wide as measured from the street side of the curb. So that means that it's from the edge of the street, 3 feet from that. Is that correct? And curb is about 8 inches or so. So we're talking about non-curb of about 2.5 feet of clearance. As I mentioned at a prior meeting, I think that should be we should do 4 feet, but if it's gonna go through as 3 feet, I think it should be 3 feet, not including the curb. Because now you're talking about people are gonna have to go up to the edge of the street, and if you have a truck with large mirrors or just any size mirrors parked along the street, you really don't have that clearance. You don't have a good 3 feet of clearance. But I would like to make a motion that we change that from 3 feet to 4 feet from the side of the curb.
I know we've been talking about the 3 feet and 4 feet for several meetings now. Julia, it's planning commission's been dealing with this.
Yes, I was gonna ask for it to be removed as well from the consent agenda, but I wasn't gonna, discuss it any further. Everybody's aware of my concerns, and I feel like it should still be 4 feet. But to Chris's point, I mean, he's right, that makes it even less than 3 feet the way it's worded, so.
Can you clarify what your motion is?
My motion is pretty much as it's written in there with 4 feet as measured from the street side of the curb.
Street side of the curb.
So you're,
And if that's not approved, then I'm gonna make a motion that it's gonna be 3 feet, not including the curb.
so you're-
How would we phrase
so
that?
initially you're saying, just changing the phrase 3 feet to 4 feet.
Correct.
Any other comments?
Well, that was a motion.
I made a
You
motion.
made a motion, okay.
Uh,
Do we have a second?
Second, what? I will, I understand.
No, you're not allowed to say it.
Sorry, guys. I understand, but I thought I heard motions and seconds.
Do we have a second from the council?
All right. And I'll make another motion, bring my screen back up, that we change the language to read at least 3 feet wide as measured from, or not including the curb.
have a second on that?
Okay.
So, with a second, both motions are defeated. So going back to the resolution itself, do we have a motion to approve resolution number 2016-10 as written?
I do.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Uh, I'm gonna go nay.
Just a tie vote.
So, tie vote, so the motion does not pass at this point.
And I see what he's saying. I mean, let's be honest, we're getting more and more busy on this street. I could park 6 inches away
No.
from the curb. All right, go ahead, never mind.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay, so just the
I
motion.
mean, I see what he's saying.
We're gonna have to bring this back to the council at the next meeting. Okay.
Got a lot of parties going on down there now.
All right, so the next item then is item number 6. Actually, why don't we switch 7 and 6? Go to the speed issues that was raised. Okay, so Mike, since we are being filmed, do you mind going up to the podium and introducing yourself?
Frank Moynihan, live on North Avenue. This is Bill Moffitt, lives on North Avenue, Great Hamlet, Nick Costello. Live in the 7500 block right there between Oklahoma and Jennifer.
Okay.
Been emailing back and forth with Ms. Eisbacher and the mayor and Chief Spalding. The speeds are just ridiculous on our street. Prime example, we have a child that on our street, I'm not getting into names, Chief knows as well, darted out in front of traffic the other day, girl, Saturday, matter of fact, leaving my house. Saturday afternoon, if it wasn't for my mother-in-law screaming stop at the top of her lungs, she would have been hit. Girl was speeding, texting, and everything. I mean, it just, I applaud the chief for what he's done. I mean, he's set right over there several times. In the emails that have been going back and forth, it appears that the speed is a serious problem throughout the town. I mean, I find it absolutely hysterical that you're approving beer gardens and everything else, but yet you have a major safety problem in this town. I mean, it's out of control right now. I mean, they've slowed it down a little bit by setting up radar. I mean, the only thing that I keep getting from the chief is, oh, I want a speed trap. And then budget is all we hear. I mean, it's always not in the budget, we have to put it in the budget. I mean, you've been aware of the emails. I mean, you guys milled our street, what, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago.
Less than a month.
CPE was out there, their foreman was out there and said it'd be simple for us to put it in right now. Your town guy, I don't know whether it's the guy that resigned or not, the guy in charge of it, was out there, said it would be simple to do.
To do what? I'm sorry.
Put
Did
speed
I miss-
bumps in.
Okay.
I mean, they had the milling machine, they had the asphalt, the crew was there. Believe me, I'm in the industry. It's a heck of a lot cheaper to do that now than to pay move charges and crews to come back in. And it's just, I've been dealing with this since back when Keenan was around. I mean, and you see where we've gotten. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. In our part of Norris Avenue, we have 10 children under the age of 10 on that street. And the speeds are to the point now that, I mean, it's ridiculous that, I mean, I guess when it really started getting serious was probably about beginning of summer. Kid comes flying down the road. I mean, almost rolled his car and down on Oklahoma making a left. I mean, it's getting out of control. I mean, I've said to the chief several times, you need to be there between 3 and 6. So what do they come? I mean, the other morning, they're out there at 5:30 in the morning. Nobody's speeding going down north towards Oklahoma. They're speeding coming home. They use it as a cut through to go through the newer section, Hawk Ridge.
Hawk Ridge.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, somebody's gonna get hit, it's only a matter of time. And all I keep hearing is, oh, well, it's in the process, we can't piecemeal it together. I mean, I don't know if you passed the email around to them. I mean, the mayor says to me, oh, we can't do it because it hinders emergency vehicles. I mean, nowhere in the world have I ever heard of a speed bump causing someone to die because of an ambulance couldn't get to them, or a fire engine. I mean, it's just ridiculous what we've been going through to get this tried to straighten out. I came to the chief with several issues, several, recommendations for it. I mean, we would even take, I don't even know what they're called, the rumble strips. I mean, and all I keep hearing is, oh, well, it'll just cause them to go elsewhere. And all I keep hearing is about how bad the traffic is around everywhere else in town. The chief keeps saying, well, I can't be everywhere at once. You got, what, 6 new cars sitting out there, 6 police officers? He can't patrol around the time? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay. Unfortunately, the chief is at a conference today, so he couldn't be here, and I really think we need his input.
Well, you know what? You guys have laid it off on him, and he lays it back off on you guys.
Well, then it'd probably be helpful to have him here to
Yeah,
answer.
because he told me.
I'll let you talk. Do you mind if I
I'm sorry.
talk? Okay. Since you're saying things that he's saying, it's probably helpful to have him here to answer the things that you're saying.
That's fine.
So do you mind coming back next week and we can really address
Sure.
this? We can have it on
I-
the agenda.
Next meeting.
Next meeting.
We can really address it.
Yeah, I mean, I have begged for meetings with the mayor, with you guys. I mean, honestly, the issue that we have, I mean, I didn't realize how bad it was throughout the town. The issue that we have is on our street, but, I mean, obviously it's terrible throughout the town now. I mean,
I would like to say a couple things, if that's all
Sure.
right. I don't know if you're aware, but there was, we passed, or the council, I wasn't on the council at that time, but we tried to get speed cameras in town. And the town came in force and signed petitions and overran that decision. So there was that. At that time, we were talking about all the kinds of ways to control speeding. It's a proven fact, I know from talking to different police officers, that putting speed humps in simply causes people to slow down when they get to the hump, and they actually speed up more after they go over the hump. It's not just an issue for emergency vehicles, it's an issue for our snow plows, and I understand it's a person's life that's far more important, but these are all the kinds of factors we have to talk about. The chief has done a phenomenal job in town. We have asked him to step up patrols, and he has. People go through stop signs. It's not just speeding. It's going through stop signs. Your point to the fact that there's 6 police cars out there, yes, there might be 6 police cars out there, but at any point in time, we only have 1 or 2 officers on duty. So it's not like we can deploy 6 officers unless we authorize them to have overtime to do just that. So I just wanted to throw a couple things out there in
Well,
the
I know
meantime.
that's all things that the mayor put in his email, and I mean, I've been in the snow removal business for 25 years. And, I mean, if you can't hire a person that can plow over a speed bump, then you really need to start
And
rethinking
there's
how you
speed
hire.
humps.
Speed humps, whatever.
Hawkridge has
Yeah, I mean, you
more
guys,
than,
I mean,
and
what is it?
Lexington, what do you call this, Lexington Run, has none.
Yeah, I mean, there's one
Is
roughly
it
100
because
yards
they're
from a stop sign.
$5?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay, I think someone else would like to be heard from. Do we-
May I make a comment after this gentleman's done?
Sure, yeah, when you're done, you can take, when he's done, you can take a photo.
Yeah,
I think you
I guess then we'll have to come back.
No.
Yeah, I think that's
Next
best
week.
to have the chief
We're gonna do
here.
next week with the sheriff.
Actually,
It's
the
not
next
next
council
week.
meeting is not next week, it's the week after that.
Okay, so 2 weeks.
So it's the second and fourth Monday.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Daniel Cox, Dan Cox, running for Congress in District 8, and I am probably not going to be able to make it to the next meeting, and I actually wanted to make a comment. I am a former town council president and dealt with this issue, and I just want to say that I appreciate what you all are doing. It's a hard job, a lot of thankless decisions. As you mentioned, people show up rarely, and when they do, they show up to throw you out with petitions. We handled this issue because in our town we had a child some time before killed on a tricycle by a speeder. So we stood up, and I was one of the people that put the measure forth to put speed humps in, much like Montgomery County does. It was very controversial. However, it passed, and none of us were unelected. And we believe we saved lives. As an attorney, I deal with legit, and as a council member, I was insured by legit. And I'll tell you, if you, this is not a professional opinion, as a lay opinion, I think if you have if you've taken the action to put speed humps in, I would say that would add a measure of protection to those who make these decisions. So I would strongly support the people of the town wanting to make sure that that's done. And I know it's probably not always the wisest to wade into local affairs when I'm not from the town, so I'll put that caveat on there. But I appreciate what you all are doing. Thank you for your time and your service to the town. It's a pleasure to come and say hello. So thanks.
Thanks for coming. Actually, we had somebody else raise their hand first. If you don't mind. Yeah, you have to come up, Julie.
Do I have to go here?
I didn't mean to talk. I didn't know I had to go.
So, according to what you say, we're neighbors, so he's right, because the people that don't take his street take mine because I'm on 2nd Avenue. That's something we have called the police for, and Chief Spaulding came, and Sergeant Kilgore was very efficient in narrowing it down to a few people because we had written down the tag number and it worked out well for us. I have a 6 and a 4 years old that tend to get out of the driveway a little too fast. And when that happened, my first, after talking to Chief Spaulding and the rest of the police force, I realized that there was more than one thing to take in account. The budget of the town, the sinks, the plowing and all of that. So I did a little bit of research and I actually found that now the newer technique to be addressing something like that would be to put those things, they look like the sign you see on the road when we have events that will tell you take next left, but they have a camera in it. And why those things are great is that they will not only take a picture of the vehicles, they will run the tag. And if it's a person that already did not pay their parking ticket, not only you're monitoring speeding, you're reinforcing something that is not going to interfere with other task, but you're going to make a little bit of money out of it because you're running a tag of someone that might have committed other infractions. And at that time, you're getting the money that you put in to install that kind of sign and address the issue. You invest into getting some money back from those. It's a fact. Someone that will speed will also park recklessly, will also commit other mistake. So there might be a way of doing it that would make everybody happy and that would help with expenses by thinking of newer technique. And there's actually someone in my neighborhood that is in charge of selling those equipment. And they was telling me that they were installed in Ocean City, right behind the bridge. And the people that paid for them were very happy to see what they got income-wise and security-wise out of those devices. So there might be something we should consider if it's helping without creating more issues that we're not ready to deal with. But you're right, I have seen it firsthand too, so that's it.
Is this a speed camera type thing? Is that
Yes,
what
it's those big signs that tell you speed down, slow down and remind you the speed limit, but they do also have a camera in them and they will take a picture of the vehicle, run the plates and send the information to the one collecting the money and writing the tickets.
Right.
So.
Well, like Councilwoman Betz did say, we tried that 4 years ago.
No, what she's speaking of is the trailer that the sheriff has.
Oh, understood, but
But
it'd
it's
still
the
be,
same
it'd still be a
thing.
speed
The P-
camera thing that would
It's a
issue.
temporary thing.
Sykes, they're not answers for that.
Sure, go ahead, Dennis.
Actually, you want to take podium?
I'll think I'll answer from here.
No, actually, they're recording.
Because since we're recording it, yeah.
Dennis Hoover, town attorney. About 4 years ago, the town council did in fact adopt an ordinance that proposed to have cameras that were portable and move around the town. They had to be within a certain number of certain distance, if I remember right, of schools and road construction, but very similar to what is in place in other jurisdictions. That's permitted by state law, by the way, so it's a state law provision which allows for these cameras to be located where they are whenever you go to Montgomery County, et cetera. There was, and that was actually adopted, and there's a process in the town by which an ordinance, once it's adopted, can be challenged by referendum, and if I remember right, it was challenged by referendum and voted out by the public. Probably the best attendance at town council meetings for a series of meetings, and so that proposal was actually voted down, even though the town and the then police chief were ardent supporters, recognizing that there was a serious speeding problem in the town at that time. As I take it, it continues. So it's really an enforcement issue at this point, unless the town council can be convinced to look at it again and see if the community interests have changed. So that's the history of it for those of you who are unaware.
Thanks.
Sir, yes.
I'll be very brief. Bill Moffett, I live at 7511 North Avenue, and I remember that vote because I had just moved in, and I rushed to vote that day for it to be passed, and I heard, I think before 5 p.m. that it was so overwhelmingly against. But I just implore you, please consider something. When I moved in, I didn't have a little girl, but I do now, and her name's Lucy, and she's so wonderful. He's got 2 beautiful girls. We got a bunch of kids on our road, and my friend Frank, who's been fighting the good fight over the email here, just trying to get your attention, he's right. Somebody's gonna die. And I hope it's not my little girl. And I hope it's not your little girl either, bud. If we can't have a camera, fine. Let's do something. We don't have enough police to run enforcement. I believe that. Okay, we're a small town. Let's do something, you know? I'm glad you're gonna have the police chief come. I'm glad we're gonna have the conversation with him here. But please just know, we're really just asking for your help. We're afraid. We're afraid for our kids, and we're afraid for our neighbors' kids. And you're the town council, so do whatever you can, okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, so our next meeting, sure, go ahead. You gotta go up, since we're being recorded. Sorry.
I would finally get on stage and you talk about.
I guess, can we ask the mayor to be here as well? Since
He will
here?
be. This is an unusual event to not have either of them.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Gregory Ryan Hamlet, 7540 Norris Avenue. It's a speed zone. They get it. They get up, down that road. There's only 4 or 5 houses on each side. Just a speed hump. I know. That's all.
Okay.
It was there, right? We had the chance and we didn't do it.
Okay. I appreciate you coming out. You can come back in 2 weeks to the meeting next, 26th. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Right, the next item of business is the referral of a medical cannabis zoning amendment to the Planning Commission. Since state law allows medical cannabis to be grown, processed, and dispensed in the state, the mayor and town council may want to request that the planning commission review the town zoning ordinance and specify locations where such activities best fit with the town's land use plan. Currently, all residential districts and our conservation districts allow agriculture as a principal permitted use. The Plan and Employment Center allows for pharmacies. The local business district allows for professional offices and clinics. Therefore, if we take no action, licensed operations may be eligible to operate in these districts. We need more research done to determine how likely that is. There's an article from the Carroll County Times about this. And I know Tawnytown's addressed this already, I believe, and the county is addressing it as well. There's an article from Carroll County Times, August 20th. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to read it or not, but very helpful. So the recommendation is to have this reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission for a report and recommendation to the town. Any comments?
Has anybody from the town reached out to MML to find out what other municipalities are doing, if there's any sample or example legislation or zoning changes? If not, we may want to do that.
MML provided a white paper, they provided some information, but there are different solutions, so they don't, it kind of depends on how each jurisdiction handles it, as opposed to there being one model legislation, but they are a good resource.
Yeah, I think definitely we should ask the Planning and Zoning Commission to look at this and provide recommendations to us if they feel that we need to make a zoning change. I don't think we can do that unilaterally on our end.
No.
We need to go to them and seek their recommendation.
Julia, thoughts since you're on the Planning Commission, Julia?
I think absolutely, yes, it's something we need to discuss and have something on the books. I think in that article, I'm not sure, but one of the municipalities was in a little bit of trouble for what they were trying to enact, so we really need to look at what the guidelines
Yeah, I
are.
think that was 2010. And, did you see anything? No? No? Okay. Public comments? You got it. I apologize.
Next meeting you want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'll just come in and stand right here. I guess just to touch on that, and again, you know, I know it's all you. What is that, and are you putting it in a place that sells it, or a place, what's the zoning for?
So we're not doing anything. It's state law that allows
Oh,
it to
okay.
take place, and since we're a municipality, we now have to address it within our own town as to how, if, when it would happen.
We can't say, no, they can't come, that if a grower or dispensary or processor decides that they want to try to come into town, they have to abide by our zoning. And so what we're recommending, or the recommendation here, is to ask the zoning, Planning and Zoning Commission to review our zoning and see if it's appropriate, the place that they could go is appropriate, and if not, to make recommendations to us to change the zoning. So at this point, I don't have any thoughts one way or another whether it's appropriate or not in town, but I think that's what the zoning commission needs to look at.
No, I just wanted to clarify, I mean, you guys are gonna push it through, or put it to the zoning and planning commission for that, but yet we're dealing with a safety issue, and you guys are actually gonna put that to the planning and zoning. I mean, it's just amazing.
Why is that amazing? It's something that's
You're gonna
it's something that we've been talking about for months now.
Something I've been talking to the town for years about.
But there's nowhere, sir, to refer your speed issue. There's
Okay.
not another commission or
you
committee
have it
that
tonight,
would deal
and-
with that.
Now you're talking about bringing marijuana into the community.
No, we're not.
No.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. You were saying.
Well, at this point, we have no idea if anybody's trying to bring a business to process, sell, or grow marijuana. The state has allowed that, they've accepted applications. I believe the Carroll County Times said that there is one party that's interested to do that in our district area. What is it, the 7th district?
In the 5th and 9th, which includes Carroll County, but we don't know.
We don't know if
What
anybody's coming or
municipality?
not, but it's
preemptive action.
well, it's just to be good stewards, just to make sure that our zoning planning commission has had a chance to look at it, review it, and see if they have any recommendations for us to make changes. But that's something for that commission to look at, but we need to direct them to take a look at it.
Any other comments? Do we have a motion?
Motion to refer a proposed zoning amendment addressing medical cannabis to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a report and recommendation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And the last open session item is Julia Ray's downtown parking.
Specifically impact fees, I thought, but I'm not sure.
Well, we had discussed it at our last council meeting, and I mean, maybe it was just me, but I thought it was something we were gonna revisit, or we were gonna do something with, not just leave it on the table. But Dawn thought that everybody was pretty much okay with the way our ordinances read. But I think it should be something we should look at as far as whether it should be a one-time fee, whether it should be a recurring fee, whether the fee is the correct dollar amount. I just think it's something, even if we don't change anything, I think it's something we should look at.
Yeah, I believe in our last meeting when this was discussed, I can't recall if it was 2 meetings ago or just the last meeting. I know a comment that I had made was, I kind of felt that which I know about the ordinance and the impact fees as they are now, it seemed kind of arbitrary. The fee itself seemed arbitrary to me, and I admitted that it might be because I'm not. I haven't informed myself to the extent that I could, but to the extent that I have, it appears arbitrary, and that in itself would indicate to me a need for further discussion. But other than that, I have no other comment without further discussion.
So is it something you want to add to the next agenda with specific items to discuss?
I mean, I guess we would have to give directive to the staff, for instance, to determine what an actual parking space costs.
Right.
Calculate that.
And then what that includes.
Right.
What are those items that would be
Right.
included in the list of costs?
I'd like to see something looked at as far as what other jurisdictions in the area have in place. I briefly looked at Westminster, but I haven't delved into other municipalities. And you're right, I think it was an arbitrary number. It was just something put there so that we had some sort of a charge to recoup some of our parking costs. You have to stand if you want to speak. Sorry.
I don't know all the details either, but I think that revisiting the topic to have it fitting some guidelines is something that needs to be done, because the way Main Street is evolving now, you see business growing in the same Main Street, but relocating from one place to another. What does that mean for them? They have an existing business, they're just changing its location. Do they have to go through the impact fee? Because when you think about it, they're just changing the 4 numbers of their mailing address on Main Street. So all of that probably will need a little bit of thinking to be addressing all the possible situation for that, and the fact that it's a one-time fee, or will you take in account growth of a business, addition of outdoor seating, or all of that. I think it probably needs a little bit more thinking. And inviting to the discussion the people that will have to pay the big bucks for it is probably a good idea too.
Okay.
So I guess just a question, in terms of the arbitrary, is it the dollar amount that seems arbitrary, or when it gets applied that seems arbitrary?
Actually, both, but my point that I had made last meeting or the meeting before was the amount itself seemed arbitrary to me, and I don't have a handle on what are all of the factors that are going into the determination of that fee, and then therefore I don't know if it's congruent with our cost, and if it's enough or too much, and how that's being distributed amongst those that are required to pay it, and so therefore too, I think the second part of your question that you raised, yeah, that seems arbitrary to me as well. But again, that could be just because I haven't been part of that process, and that which I have access to and that I've read is not answering all of my questions.
Okay, can you say any more about that in terms of what other questions you might have that haven't been answered in terms of when it's applied?
I don't know. I think what seems to come up recurrently is there seems to be some sort of credit of sorts that's been called upon or cashed in on multiple occasions by certain property owners I don't quite understand that at all. Actually, I don't understand how much property was quote unquote donated to the town on behalf of that property owner that would therefore then translate into a credit of sorts for future use. I don't understand any of that. I have heads nodding, so I feel like I'm not alone in that. So that I think needs to be a topic of conversation amongst us as well.
Can I add something to that for your investigating? I'd like to know, according to the ordinance now, which businesses are affected by this ordinance that have to pay this impact fee and which businesses aren't because of size.
Yeah, so no business right now. I mean, there's nobody currently that's an existing business that's affected. So the distillery that's new and the carriage house, which is new, are the only ones that are affected currently.
In theory, when there is a new business that moves into a building, you would calculate the change in use and determine the increase in parking requirements. If you went from a retail environment to a restaurant environment in the same building, there would be an increase in parking requirements based on our zoning ordinance. And then there would be an impact fee in connection with the issuance of the building permit.
Well, that's the confusing part, but, sort of, and I think we could go through the ordinance, but actually the retail requirement is the same. I think we looked it up as the restaurant
I
requirement.
gave it as an example, but not knowing what the
Sure.
So there are the way it's currently written, you might be surprised there's probably fewer people that are impacted than what you might think currently.
I asked this last time of Dawn, and she really didn't have a good answer because I don't know how well the records are kept, or it's so infrequent that we implement this. But if we can get an accounting of who has paid the fee, as best that we know. I mean, I know of a few businesses. I think the bookstore, the church in the past has had to pay impact fees. That besides the newer ones, the carriage house and the distillery that Tom just mentioned, I don't know of any other businesses that have had to pay it. So it'd be nice to know how big of an issue this really is. I know it would cause a lot of angst when a business comes in, they think about the impact fees, but how much of an issue is it really? So it'd be nice to know.
Fair question. Good question.
might be helpful to know how many times it's been waived by the, or modified by the.
BZA.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, the planning commission allows a fee to be paid in lieu of parking. The BZA would have a variance, but.
And those are the nuances that I'm not familiar with, so it would be helpful.
Anyone else?
Thanks, Julie.
Does that give you your direction?
Yeah, that's helpful. Now I'm also going to ask you to give us time. So,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah, but we'll come back, hopefully before the end of the year.
Okay.
Does that take care of that?
Yeah.
Okay. And Dawn, as I'm thinking about it too, for the next meeting, can we have Ron here too for the speed hump discussion? Because I think Public Works should be involved since they're the ones involved in the paving and things like that.
Sure.
Okay, any other items?
So we're set. I can make a motion to go into, or to adjourn the open session.
We have to read the closed session.
Do you want to read it? Do you want me to?
And
Who's
we
the
will
fastest
be,
talker?
we will be voting on something.
In closed session.
So if anybody's interested in sticking around to hear after closed session, Closed session. The meeting is proposed to be closed pursuant to the general provisions of the Annotated Code of Maryland, Section 3-305B1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom it has jurisdiction, or any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. We'll be discussing personnel, Main Street appointment, confidential personal information. Motion for a 5-minute recess.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
5-minute recess.